Thanks for tuning in to this week's message from Salt House. My name's Mark. I'm a member here, and I volunteer in the nursery and help with the finances. Everything we do here at Salt House and beyond depends on the financial support and generosity of our community. Folks like you who show up or tune in each week and receive great benefit from the good and sacred things happening here. So if you love what Salt House is up to, and you're able this season, I want to encourage you to contribute by donating. Go to salthousechurch.org/giving to learn more. And thank you for being such a faithful community.
Are we all set over there? All right, places, everyone, places. Okay, you're all in your places. There's going to be a time during the Nativity where we all sing together, too. So be ready to join in there. Okay. Here we go. Put your hands together.
Merry Christmas, kids.
When do we get to open presents?
Well, Christmas is about more than just presents.
Is it about candy?
No.
Santa?
Maybe it'll be easier if I just tell you a story.
Aw, not again.
Not what again?
Not this story. We've heard it a million times.
Yeah, you should tell a story with more action.
Well, if you know the story so well, maybe you could tell it.
I could try.
Do or do not. There is no try.
All right. The story begins.
I got this. A long time ago in a galaxy far, far away. Shh.
As I was saying, a Roman emperor named Caesar Augustus sent his soldiers to make an announcement.
And the soldiers had amazing armor and blasters. There were stormtroopers in the Bible?
No.
Yes.
No.
Hear ye, Caesar has sent me to say that you must all go to be registered on your home planet, or wherever you were born.
In the town of Nazareth, there was a woman named Mary, and she had a sweetheart named Joseph. One night, the angel Gabriel came to Mary.
Hi. Do not be afraid. I have good news. You will have a child. He will be the Son of God, and his name will be Jesus.
Huh, really?
I find your lack of faith very disturbing.
You're right. This is a gift from God.
The angel Gabriel also visited Joseph in a dream to share the good news.
I just had the most amazing dream. An angel told me that you're gonna have a baby, the Son of God, and name him Jesus.
It's true. I love you.
I know.
After hearing the good news, they left Nazareth to go to Bethlehem, where Joseph had been born.
And they traveled the desert with the mightiest steed of them all, a big, furry, fuzzy...
Quiet, you scruffy nerf herder.
Who are you calling scruffy?
Donkey. They rode a donkey, not a Wookiee. Where was I? Oh, right.
Ugh, I hate sand. It's coarse and rough and so irritable and it gets everywhere.
When they got to Bethlehem, they started looking for a place to stay.
But everywhere was full.
Hello, is anyone there?
Hello, sir. I'm terribly sorry, but we are all full. Yes, I know, sir. I'm telling them that. Bucket of bullets.
C-3PO?
Really?
Please?
No.
Hello? Please, we really need a place to stay.
Sorry, but we have no room. Please leave.
Come on, we need a room. You must have one spare.
For the last time, I don't have any room. I have a stable if you really need a place to stay so badly.
We really do, so thank you.
While Mary and Joseph were in the stable, the baby was born. He was a beautiful boy who they named Jesus, just as the angel had told them to.
Jesus, I am your father.
Mary wrapped him in a cloth and laid him in a manger. Meanwhile, some shepherds were out in a field watching over their flocks when all of a sudden a massive bright light appeared in the sky and they were terrified.
Oh, what is that? Is that the moon? That's no moon. Do not be afraid. I bring you good news. The Son of God's been born in Bethlehem. You'll find him in a stable waiting in manger. Oh, it's time for the angels.
After the shepherds heard the good news, a bunch of angels appeared and sang songs to God.
Oh no. I didn't know these have two. Let's go to Bethlehem and look for the Son of God. But what can we bring for our king? I know. Let's bring him a lamb.
The shepherds traveled until they found the baby lying in the manger, just as the angel had said. The shepherds stayed to worship the baby. The shepherds, who were almost less than lower class in that day, were the first to see the Son of God. While this was happening, some other important people were on their way to see Jesus. They were the wise people.
Yes, the wise people who were studying the stars when they noticed a new, especially bright star in the sky. They knew it meant something special, that the King of the Jews had been born.
This is the way.
Important this star is. Follow where it leads. We must. Stop it. Here's gracefully be.
They were magi, not Yodas.
Oh, come on. Stop changing the story.
But anyway, as I was saying, the wise people started their long journey following the star, knowing that it would take them to the Son of God. On their way, they stopped at King Herod's palace. King Herod pretended to be just as excited over the news as the wise people were. But really, he was plotting against them.
I've got a bad feeling about this.
Remember where to tell me to find this special king of the Jews.
Darth Vader is really nice in this story. Just wait.
Just wait and the story becomes accurate again.
What does whatever you said means?
It means that Darth Vader wasn't in the Bible. It was King Herod. Now, if I can continue.
Yes, please, go right ahead.
Right, well, as I was saying, King Herod was plotting against Jesus.
If what they say is true, then this baby will be more important than me. I can't have that happen. But what can I do? I know. I'll send my best soldiers out and have them destroyed.
No! Poor baby Jesus, that's horrible.
Oh, don't worry. God sent a dream to the wise people so they wouldn't return.
You have failed me for the last time.
Grandpa, wrong story.
Sorry. Go on.
Well, the wise people followed the star to Bethlehem, and they saw it come to stop over a stable.
But they still recognized him as the Son of God.
So this is what the child we have come so far to see. The force is strong with this one. I mean, the spirit is strong with this one.
We've traveled a long time to come worship him. We brought you gifts, gold.
Yes, and I've brought you frankincense.
And I've brought more too.
stop changing the story.
I didn't. All that actually happened.
Really?
Yeah, no kidding. That's all true.
No way. It's all too crazy. The Son of God has a baby in a food trough for animals, born in a small, smelly stable with no doctor, shepherds and wise people kneeling at his tiny feet, angels singing. That sounds crazy. He should have been born in a castle with servants and important people. Are you trying to trick me?
Well, it might seem absurd, but it all really happened that way. From the wise men in their formal robes to the best lamb that the shepherds brought.
Really? Wow, that's so cool. Thank you for telling the story.
Yes, that was really nice of you. And now, it's time for bed. Go on. Let's get tucked in, settled in, have sweet dreams of sugar plums dancing in your head.
Actually, I think I'll dream about baby Jesus instead.
Yeah, that story was better than Star Wars.
Better than Star Wars. Huh.
Well, almost. I think it might be more of a tie.
Good job telling the story, kiddo.
Thanks, but I think you can tell it next year. I think I like listening more than telling it. It is a pretty cool story.
That it is. And who knows? Maybe next year it'll be one of their turns to tell it.
Now that would be one interesting story. Well, night, Grandpa.
Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas.
And may the Force be with you.
May the Spirit be with you.
Am I on? All right. Before we sing our next song, we have one storyteller we really need to recognize. Lucy, would you? Lucy is a freshman in our youth group, and Lucy wrote this year's Nativity play. So let's give Lucy another round of applause. Thank you. Jason, do you have a song for us?
You're going to talk first.
I'm going to talk first. Okay. Okay. It's really hard to think I have anything to add after that, actually. Well, on top of Star Wars, we have seen a lot of Christmas stories at Salt House this Advent. We've looked at John's Gospel with its cosmic poetry. We've looked at Mark's Gospel with its wilderness baptism. We've looked at Luke's Gospel with Mary accepting this role of birthing Jesus. And in addition to Boba Fett, there's only one left. We've got Matthew. And Matthew gives us yet another different take on this Christmas mystery of God with us. Matthew gives us this genealogy of Joseph's family tree, and it lands on where Jesus' father came from and where this story is going. So, Jason, do we have this so we could read it together? Would you join me in reading Matthew's Christmas story? This is how the birth of Jesus, the Messiah, came about. His mother Mary was pledged to be married to Joseph, but before they came together, she was found to be pregnant through the Holy Spirit. Because Joseph, her husband, was faithful to the law and yet did not want to expose her to public disgrace, he had in mind to divorce her quietly. But after he had considered this, an angel of the Lord appeared to him in a dream and said, Joseph, son of David, do not be afraid to take Mary as your wife, because what is conceived in her is from the Holy Spirit. She will give birth to a son, and you are to give him the name Jesus. And this took place to fulfill. It's a surprise. All this took place to fulfill what the Lord had said through the prophet. The virgin will conceive and give birth to a son. And they will call him Emmanuel, which means God with us. When Joseph woke up, he did what the angel of the Lord had commanded him and took Mary home as his wife You know, it's funny, where Luke really emphasizes what's going on with Mary, Matthew focuses on Joseph. And Matthew doesn't really emphasize Mary's virginity. What Matthew emphasizes is that Joseph and Mary were unmarried and had not slept together. Joseph is betrothed and his fiancée is pregnant. Matthew wants you to feel that betrayal, that fear, the shame, the hopelessness that Joseph feels. I mean, think of the prospect of new love, of new beginnings, of imagining your future still unfolding. Joseph has all these dreams, and Mary's pregnancy probably feels like those dreams are shattered. But interestingly, for Matthew, the God with us moment also happens in a dream. God sends Joseph this message saying, do not be afraid. Do not be afraid. God gives Joseph a promise of a new dream and a new future. God's Christmas promise to Joseph is to keep going, to keep the faith, stay the course. Even though Joseph's life is out of control and not what he expected, God's promise to Joseph is do not be afraid. And I think this is why the world needs Christmas year after year. It's sad that many, if not all, dreams shatter in this world. A lot of happy endings don't look the way we think they should. Things that we chase for years never lead anywhere. Loved ones die, and war after war after war breaks out. There's a lot of fear, shame, and hopelessness in the world. I mean, for me, I'm in the ordination process that has taken a lot longer than I expected. There's financial insecurity, millions of questions of where I'll be this time next year. And in the midst of that, I hear this Christmas promise. Do not be afraid. I've been having coffee with a number of folks in our community who are wrestling with fear, shame, and hopelessness. Someone this week told me, this is another Christmas where my family doesn't accept me. Or someone was saying, I just don't know what to do about the situation in the Middle East. Or this isn't how I thought my story was going to go. And in the midst of all that, there's this Christmas promise where God says, do not be afraid. So I wonder what dreams in your life feel uncertain. I wonder what dreams are shattered beyond repair. I wonder what feelings of fear, shame, or hopelessness you might have this Christmas. And whatever this is for you, God says, do not be afraid. Because even though your situation may be impossible, it's not the end of your story. God is a God of dreams, and whatever your story has been this year, just like Joseph, God will give you a new dream. So Salt House, before we transition to communion, we're gonna do something that Christians call sharing of the peace. And we're gonna invite you to greet your neighbor, but use this Christmas greeting. Do not be afraid. Do not be afraid. Let's take a minute to do that, then we'll come back together to sing.